Hi, welcome to Clutter Bravado.
Yes, and it's the energy. It's not just about the stuff.
So we should probably just get into it, right?
Let's go.
Hello, Laurent.
Good afternoon, ladies.
How are you?
Okay, that's a loaded question. Well, better than anybody. I've been struggling with that, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
bug, flu,
That
crud.
horrible flu.
That's
It
been
was
on.
going around forever. I had it, and then I got better, and then I got it again, and then I got better, and then you got it, and then you got better, and then you got it again in a rough way.
In a rough way. So I am, today I think I'm feeling better.
Yeah. You seem like you're better today.
But it's been a real doozy because that's kind of had to skip most of the design events in Los Angeles in the last 2 weeks, both Freeze and Design LA. And at least we know that the city was vibrant with art and design.
Yes.
We've seen pictures. We've talked to people, so that's been a really good event. And then in terms of design, there's a day on March 16th, I think, at the PDC. So that
that's right.
will be going a bunch of talks and
It's
events
spring already.
It's spring, yeah.
Isn't that incredible? Like all of a sudden it was winter. And also in LA, if you're listening to this from outside of LA, I'm so sorry. It's beautiful. And it's been the perfect weather here.
It's been,
It's
almost
been
summer-like.
ideal. Oh, it's been so lovely. Not quite summer because summer in LA is like dry and hot. And here it's just this like perfect warm spring. It's been ideal. I've been outside a lot. It's been wonderful. But what have you been up to though? Just being in bed? Are you watching anything good?
Yeah, I've watched a couple of good things. Well, it's by the time the Oscars are this Sunday, so
Yes.
we're putting out this episode.
Yeah, right before that.
Right before that. And yesterday, you and I, we went to see all the shorts.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. So if you're listening to this podcast and it's Wednesday and you have the chance to watch all the shorts that are
any
nominated.
of the live action shorts that are nominated for Oscars this year, they were mind blowing. Like they were so incredible, and it was really inspiring too. Because I've been in a bunch of shorts lately, and I've got a couple more that I'm going to be shooting within the next few weeks, or 3 within the next few weeks, and it is so exciting to see where that can go. Because sometimes when you make a short film, especially with short films that are considered to be like, it's just kind of what you do with your friends. You just throw something together, and to see how someone would take an idea from that same place and be able to produce it into something that is so powerful and impactful and telling really important stories and sometimes really funny stories in a way that is, it's so concise and it's pared down to just the bare story itself.
The design of those places, like because there's one that's the Friends of Dorothy's. I think the interior was like spectacular.
Friends of Dorothy was an incredible short film, and the interior. I think I told you afterward, like that's my dream home.
And the French one is shot at Galerie Lafayette. The fashion was incredible.
That one is called Two People Exchanging Saliva.
Yeah, Two People Exchanging Saliva was super well shot inside the Galerie Lafayette. The fashion was marvelous. So
Marvelous,
it's like you can mix your design fix, your fashion fix, and an amazing story, amazing acting for both of those.
Yeah, it really
movies.
blended our worlds together.
And then Art of Elysium, so Jen Howell has been championing Singers.
The Singers, yeah.
Which was shot on 35 millimeter, which was really cool.
Yeah, getting to meet some people that are involved with that film was really cool. And we watched it first, or I watched it first on Netflix. I think you saw it as well because we talked about it. And then we watched it together yesterday at the screening, and to see it on a big screen after, I mean, it was shot in 35 millimeter on film. And there are a few moments in it where you can tell like, this is film. This is film editing. Like they really, it was a really technically challenging thing to do, but the way that they lit it, I mean, to get the environment, to get the realness of the characters, I thought that was definitely one of my top favorites, the singers for sure.
And then I made you watch Blue Moon. So skipping
Yes.
to the
Two other Oscar films.
two
Yes.
other Oscar films. If you haven't seen Blue Moon and you're into movies, it's I thought it was spectacular. I think that
Absolutely.
Ethan Hawke is now my favorite actor of
Really?
all time. Yeah, I mean I am blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away. So that's been really fun. I mean, the quality is great. Let's face it, we are recording this podcast in a time of absolute sheer craziness in the world.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I feel like artists are showing up at the same level as the craziness in the world and are coming up with, be it Amnet or Blue Moon or, Sinners was absolutely fantastic. So I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like this year it's like, there's a certain amount of crazy and there's a certain amount of art that I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I agree with that. And in Blue Moon especially. So I'm a big fan of Richard Linklater as a director and as a filmmaker. I really like a lot of his films, and he's worked with Ethan Hawke quite a bit. And Blue Moon was a really, really special film. I can't remember who was the writer, but it was a combination of letters that were exchanged for Ethan Hawke to get into that character, who's someone that's so different from him but be so believable, and he just pulls at your heart. Like you want to be on this guy's side, and you can see his flaws, but they're portrayed so honestly and so beautifully. I loved that performance. And so I would say, kind of. I mean, maybe this is wrong of me, but if I had to pick someone for the Oscar for Best Actor this year, I would pick Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon.
Hands down, yeah.
Yeah, and Jessie Buckley.
Right.
Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. She is incredible, and her performance again was so raw and so real, and that's really what we're looking for, in an age right now when we are dealing with so much AI and so many things that are manipulated. When you can see that authenticity in a performance, there's something that nothing will ever be able to duplicate. That nothing can ever make a copy of it. It really does take great talent and a real human being to portray those emotions. It brings out my empathy. It brings out my sympathy for these characters. Like I can put myself in their place. And so yeah, I'm right on board with you.
So yeah, that part has been fun. I mean, it's discovering all those shorts and all those movies.
Did you watch Wonder Man?
I did.
Okay, good. Because this was a homework assignment that I gave you to watch Wonder Man. Okay, so Wonder Man, not only is it so... it's like for anyone who is an actor or who's a beginning actor or in that point of their career where they're like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. It is so inspiring. And it's a beautiful metaphor also for just like the things that we think are going to hold us back end up being the things that we are able to really embody and to create. To have that's our power, I loved that. I love that it follows a young actor who's so talented. Yaya is amazing in that, and also Sir Ben Kingsley in the show
phenomenal.
Lives in this building.
Right
in this
show,
building, there's so much Talmadge.
There's a lot of Talmadge.
There's a lot of Talmadge. The final episode, there's so much of it takes place right outside of the building. So that was awesome. And so that was why, as soon as I saw that in like the second episode, I'm like, you have to watch Wonder Man. It's really important. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was an incredible show. If you have to read, I don't know if anybody cares, but there's been a couple really cool Ezra Klein from the New York Times article on AI.
Oh yeah.
That has made me think, and one of them is an interview on his podcast by someone who is like an AI specialist. It was very thoughtful. It was very. I didn't get everything. I didn't understand everything, but boy, that was the first time that someone spoke about AI, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's what they're talking about."
It really helps you to like grasp it.
Grasp
Yeah.
it, yeah. So I recommend to go on Ezra Klein's podcast and listen to that interview on AI. I thought that was brilliant.
Oh my gosh. I just realized that our last episode came out before I put on my show.
Oh wow!
Wow. Okay, so it's been a minute. Yes, our episodes are more spaced out now because I am a lot busier. I do have a lot of other things that are going on, but my one-woman show Pickled went up at the end of February, and that was an absolutely. I mean, it was an experience that I haven't had with the other times that I've read it, the other times that I've put it up. The first night we filmed it, so I will be able to at some point.
Yeah,
share
no,
it
not
around a
at
little
some
bit.
point. I'm going to put pressure. When is that?
It'll
Let's
come
put
out.
pressure.
It'll come out.
When?
But I don't know when it's done. It takes a lot of editing. I mean, it's a bit of work, but it will. I will be posting it or sharing it, or at least like pieces of it so that people can get an idea of what Pickled is. But because it is such a personal story and it's such an intense emotional roller coaster for a performer, but also for the audience. So like, I'm taking you on the ride with me. But I needed a week and a half to fully recover from doing it. And I didn't think I was going to need that. I thought I could hit the ground running. And that is not how it unfolded. I left a lot on that stage, and I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to do so. Saturday and Sunday night were both completely sold out, and a lot of friends from the design industry came out. It was beautiful to look up from the stage and to see Thomas Lavin and Dustin there. And Ron Woodson came out to support, and Peter Gursky and just some people that I've met through you who don't know that side of me.
Right.
So that felt really like it was very vulnerable for me to do because it's a very vulnerable story, but to be able to share that is so important, and it's something that I love doing. It's a story that I love to tell, and that I feel is important to tell, and I feel like overall it was a success. It was everything
huge.
that I
It
wanted
was fantastic.
it to be. Yeah, and I'm grateful for everyone who listened, who came out, and yeah, I mean, I'm now on the other side of it. So just I'm back into the flow, and like I said, I'm filming quite a bit coming up here next week or this coming weekend. Oh my gosh, in a few days. I've got an overnight shoot for a really, really fun short film was written and directed by a friend of mine, Dan Masso. He's incredibly talented, and it's my first time working with him on something where something that's scripted. We've worked on music videos together in the past, but this will be really fun. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's been coming up, or that is coming up, and that we've been doing in the time between the last episode and this one. But one person that did show up to the show, who I was so happy to see, is our guest that we have today. So Mo Helmi. Mo reached out to us. He was brought to us through Thomas Deal, and he's also works in landscapes. And I was fascinated by, I mean, when we talked about this before, when we had Thomas Deal on, we hadn't had a lot of conversations about landscape design. Right. That wasn't something that I had really dug into at all. And Thomas Deal was my first introduction to that. And getting to see Mo's personal perspective on it and how he approaches landscape design was really, really interesting.
He's fabulous.
He's also so charming and like a very good looking like if you're watching this, you're in for a treat. He's like just everything about him. He's an elegant, intoxicating person. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was same. It's interesting because both he and Thomas have a philosophy about landscaping that is fascinating. It's, it's for someone like me who's never, it's like thought about it in any other way than, they are planting the garden.
Yeah.
There's a whole artistry and philosophy that goes behind it that is deep. Is that how you say
It's
it?
deep.
And,
I agree. Yeah.
And I'm just, and two, it's funny because it's like two people who are just beautiful and lovely and smart and well-spoken. And I'm like, okay, so I guess. So yeah, Mo.
Yeah. Yeah. Mo
Big
is
fan.
incredible. I'm also a very big fan of his. And again, it was wonderful to see him at the show and that he came out to support because when we interviewed him, it was like right before the show. So yeah, he's really supportive. Just an overall just charming and lovely person to talk to. I think we had a great conversation. And yeah, should we get to it?
Let's go.
Hi, this is Elyse from Clutter Bravado podcast. Clutter Bravado is an independent podcast, and as any independent artist will tell you, getting off the ground is a little challenging. If you like what you're hearing, please like, comment, share, subscribe, support us in any way that you can on the platform where you're listening. And follow us on Instagram at Clutter Bravado for exclusive clips, events, and giveaways. We quite literally could not do this without your continued support. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for listening. Tell your friends, and please follow and subscribe so that you can be the first to have access to our latest episodes. Now, back to the show. Welcome to Clutter Bravado. We are here with Mo Helmi of TriCoastal Scapes. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. So you were recommended to us by Thomas Deal, another landscape designer, and I've heard a little bit about you, but this is actually really fun because I get to know you on the show.
Fantastic.
This is our first time meeting, and I love it when this gets to happen because then,
Yeah.
like, anyone who's listening gets to meet you and gets to know you, like their first impression of you as well. So,
Yeah.
first, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah?
good. It's a beautiful day in LA,
It
as
is.
always. and
Another beautiful.
another beautiful day in LA. Sky's blue. And yeah, it's been a really wonderful start of the day. And Monday. It is Monday, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is
and it's
Monday.
funny because today is Martin Luther King Day.
Yes.
So
That's
the
right.
city is very quiet,
Yeah.
which is kind of really
It's
fun.
kind of nice. It's peaceful.
Yeah. It was a very smooth ride to come here today.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just looked at all the palm trees as I came over, so it's quite nice. Yeah.
So, a little bit about you.
Yeah.
So, are you originally from London?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
originally from London and spent part of growing up in New York City as well.
Okay.
Hence this mixed accent.
You do have a bit of a mixed accent. It's kind of
Yes.
nice. I couldn't place it right away, but yes.
Yeah, yeah. People say it's like you grew up between Heathrow and JFK.
Yeah.
That's the same way to say. And yeah, and then I've been coming to LA for the past 8 years. And I moved over finally just over a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So, what is
fantastic.
Yeah.
like in the first year of living in LA? What
Yes.
was your first year experience? Did you feel like it was really welcoming? Did you feel like it was, still that you're still sort of getting your feet wet here? How does it feel?
Oh, I mean, it's beyond welcoming. I mean, I've been coming for the last 8 years, and so I have some friends here and everything. But even from just moving here a year ago, just the way the design community, aside from just LA in general, but the way the design community has been so welcoming and helpful as soon as they hear that you've just moved here, has been just beyond anything I would have expected. Thomas Deal is actually a perfect example of that, as a colleague who just said, come with me to the nurseries, let me introduce you to these suppliers, do you need help with anything? And it's just such a beautiful community here. So yeah, very welcome.
Yeah.
Shout out to our community. We say that because we have a lot of people coming that, what's different is that I've known them for a really long time. We just met through Thomas.
Yeah.
But every time it's like our community is so strong.
Yeah.
Here, and I would say in San Francisco equally, I have that same feeling. But it's really fantastic that you experienced that on year one.
100%. It's definitely a West Coast thing, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really refreshing, and it just makes you even feel more open and wanting to meet even more people. And yeah.
And you get to be that for somebody too. Like you've been here for a year, but you've been here for a year, and you've had connections here for a long time. So someone else who's new, you can kind of like, oh, my friend told me about this, and like being able to share that. That's how you build community. It's so
Absolutely.
important.
I've
Yeah.
already done it, actually. I've met someone who's a new landscape designer. I said, come with me to the event. And let me introduce you to the supplier. And I said, you should meet Thomas. And so it's been a really good start of living here.
That's awesome.
Very grateful.
What neighborhood are you in?
I'm in West Hollywood at the moment.
Yeah.
So I figured it's kind of like the best spot for a European to start living in LA, where everything is walkable.
It's walkable,
Yes.
It feels like, and you run into more people that way too.
Absolutely.
I mean, certain areas of the city, you just never talk to another person because you're not on the sidewalk for any reason.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so many of my friends, including Thomas, are walking distance from me. So
cool.
We get to have dinners and game nights and stuff, which is really sweet.
Oh, I love that.
That's really fun, because after that, if you decide, there are different, like if you're by the ocean, you become very like stuck over there, or if you're in Silver Lake or Echo Park, that becomes the whole thing. Pasadena becomes its whole thing. So it's interesting. West Hollywood is a good first step in LA.
You're halfway to the coast, you're halfway to downtown. And I say yes to everything. So.
Awesome. Yeah, that's important in your first year at LA. Just like go have the experience. Like you get an opportunity to show up to a weird random event in Culver City, just go.
It's like, I'll come, give me the address.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So you didn't start in landscape architecture.
No.
Where did you begin? Was it in fashion?
It was, yes.
Yeah.
I literally started as a fashion assistant at Condé Nast Traveler in London, and just kind of built up my fashion career from there. And I was in fashion for 15 years. Started as a fashion assistant, moved on to fashion editor, fashion director, and after a decade of styling photo shoots and campaigns. Which was amazing, and we got to travel across the globe to do the photo shoots. It was a really amazing experience. While I was there, and then I left and I was freelance for a while. I went back to school, Central St. Martin's on London College of Fashion, and studied fashion design, and then went into that side of the fashion industry.
Oh, wow.
And designed shoes and bags. And originally I was living between London and Milan, and then for fashion design it was London and Florence, which was stunning, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So. It was like, LA, New York, Milan, London, Paris. It's like there are some people that are like Boise, Salt Lake City,
Milwaukee. So, in designing fashion and having an eye for fashion, how does that translate to landscape?
Basically, the understanding of telling a story as you're explaining to a client how you would like to design their garden for them and how they would love to use it. The openness of combining unusual textures and colors, how you would do it in fashion. I mean, when I was in fashion, almost all of us were always inspired by nature. You see it in the collections every season. Alexander McQueen was a perfect example of someone who was constantly inspired by nature to help us disconnect from the world and everything that's going on in it. And so now it's kind of like the reverse for me. I'm now in landscape design and I'm designing gardens, and I get to be inspired by what's on the catwalks, what's in exhibitions and galleries.
Wow.
But also pulling from my experience about how to be inspired by what's around me. And so,
Oh, can you give me an example of that? Like something that came down a runway that inspired you and how you use that, like what that looks like now?
There was, I think, if memory serves me right, a few years ago, I couldn't tell you what catwalk it was. I think it was a dress in one of Dior's shows. And the color combinations on that dress coming down the catwalk, I remember seeing it and going, oh, that's an interesting combination of colors. You can tell they were inspired by nature.
Right.
But I was like, I'm pretty sure I can source plants that flower with this interesting color combination, but also throw in like the color of branches and foliage that will kind of make those colors basically elevate even
Yeah.
more. And so that goes on the mood board next to everything else.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a really fun way to be creative and in a completely different way from fashion, but it's still connected in a way. So
Yeah. That's, I mean, okay. I hike a lot in LA.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite spots to go to is up to Angeles Crest Forest. And
I haven't been there.
Just drive up the 2 and keep going.
Okay.
Yeah. It's stunning. It's really beautiful. And especially at sunset. And one of my favorite color combinations are these flowers that you will see. I don't know what time of year, but they're this sort of like peachy pink color. And they're against this like super lush green, so it's probably around March. Like March is my favorite time to go up there.
Yeah.
But it's really, really lush green. And then with the sort of like the woods that are like everything that you're seeing there and like this little pop of color, there's something that's so beautiful about that. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that and been like, I want to wear something that looks like that, you know? And I feel like, you know, I love that you're sort of working in the opposite now, that you're in this space of like, oh, this dress is really beautiful, or like this look is really special. How can I create that using plants?
Yeah.
So one thing about landscape that I am still, like I talked to Thomas about this, and the way that he spoke about it was really interesting, but timing and how you are creating, you know, a lot of your clients, they've been in London, correct? Or like in England? Am I wrong about that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you deal with timing when it comes to gardens and blooming, and like, how are you like aligning that so you have this sort of like orchestra?
When I'm designing, this is literally how it happens in my brain when I'm designing a garden. The minute I see the space and I'm talking to the client and understanding everything from what the client would love to use the space for, where it is in the world, the topography, the climate, everything. I start this time lapse in my head of what the garden is going to look like throughout all the different seasons. And this time lapse just keeps repeating in my head with plants flowering, going down again, flowering again, and how the clients are going, are using the space. Are they using it from inside the house looking out, depending on what time of year it is? Are they in the space? What wildlife is going through the space? And as that time lapse in my head goes up and down, I start adding in the different plants and the different colors. And I start visualizing how that's going to look throughout the different seasons. Obviously, the seasons in Northern Europe and California are very different.
Very different, yeah.
But that's what makes it so interesting and exciting. And there's over 400,000 species of plants around the world that we know of. There's probably quite a few more that we haven't discovered yet. So the palette that you get to use in your designs is just so much fun to explore and learn, and I'm still learning to this day about new varieties constantly. So
I think you'll learn. That's the beauty about our industry, is that you learn. Forever.
Because, which is wonderful.
Yeah, in connecting with your clients, do you find that your clients tend to also have a sort of like eye for fashion and beauty, or is that something that you bring to them?
I think it depends on the client.
Yeah.
I would say the majority, yes. And sometimes I always like to ask my clients questions that are beyond the garden, like what's your favorite colors to wear? Kind of have a look at the art hanging on your walls. Where is your happy place in the world? Like several questions that kind of help me understand where they are. And their wardrobe is key into what brings them joy in terms of colors, textures, and I usually try and pull inspiration from their wardrobe as well, if they allow me to see it.
Yeah.
So,
What's interesting is talking to Thomas is all the different elements that I didn't, because I've never done a garden that I never really understood, is the color, the texture. Texture has come back also with that. That's fascinating, and that's big in your inspiration too.
Yeah,
Let's see.
absolutely. It's all about the five senses and how you can really help someone almost disconnect in an outdoor space without even noticing that that's what they're doing. Like it's just kind of like the baseline of how they feel automatically. And feeling things and touching them and smelling them and hearing them and seeing them is all about being present in the moment. And so it's a real joy. I could talk about this forever. So
Are there some designers in LA that you've worked with, like interior designers, and you've done the landscaping for that property for like a new build?
I'm currently in talks with a couple of interior designers
Yeah.
that we're talking about collaborating together. I just met one last week, and we had a really lovely catch up, and we discussed our work and how we both approach design, and we've looked at each other's work, and that's also something that I really enjoy doing with an interior designer from the beginning, like how to pull from what they're doing inside into the outdoors to kind of create this this kind of like magic of the flow of indoor-outdoor living, which is very, very popular.
Right.
in
Very
LA, of
popular
course.
here, yeah, because it's
Well,
so
yeah, 'cause
easy.
it's
Because
80 degrees
it's the
today.
end of January and it's 80 degrees outside.
Yes, I mean, it's stunning.
Yeah,
It's really beautiful.
It really, I mean, we really do live in a paradise. Do you find that the plants that you're using here, that you get to have a little bit more fun with, like which ones you get to choose?
Yes, the diversity of species here is just mind-blowing. I'm in awe almost on a daily basis when I walk my dog in the mornings at the combination of plants that are thriving together and flowering and evolving throughout the seasons. It's such an interesting combination of plants because of the climate,
Right.
you know, and because also of I think people in Southern California are so in love with gardens that all the different species are brought over to Southern California from around the world to be grown and experimented with. So the palette of what we get to play with is wonderful.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about a freeze here.
Yeah.
No, never. I've been to homes where they've had orchids in their gardens for the past 10 years, and they flower every year.
Right.
So it says a lot about the climate
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's delightful.
Yeah.
So, yes, you have your fashion background, but there's another element of your experience in what you do. You're also a writer.
Yes, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
And you have a linguistics background.
That's right.
Okay. So, talk to me about that, because I'm also, linguistics is one of my favorite. I have an English degree.
Oh, amazing.
And when I was in school, I loved getting into linguistics. I thought it was really fascinating. It's helped me to like understand like basics of certain like languages, and like, you know, if I'll overhear a word, sometimes I'm like, oh, I can kind of place that. Like it sort of makes sense. And it gives you a better understanding of the way that we relate to each other using
Yes.
language.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how you relate that with landscape.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, I mean, learning languages has always been a passion and a curiosity of mine about getting to communicate in different ways.
So how many languages do you speak?
About a handful of languages.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
But it automatically helps you tap into the cultures and art of all those different languages, countries, basically. Spanish opens the door not just to Spain, but to the whole of South America. So does Italian, so does Japanese. And all those cultures have so many different layers of art, from poetry, film, obviously landscape design. I get inspired a lot by a lot of Japanese art forms, and I use them in my landscape design. And so, yeah, so that kind of opens the doors for that. And in terms of the linguistics, when it comes to writing, I'm currently in the middle of writing a book. I should say I'm starting to write a book.
Okay.
Which is about a future where cities are much greener, where the quality of life is better because we live surrounded by plants and greenery and biodiversity.
Yeah, that's a perfect
So,
segue into urban greening, which
Yeah.
is something that you do at TriCoastal
Yes,
Scapes.
absolutely.
So, from what I understand, from what I read on your website, and from what I've like Googled about you, but urban greening is that idea of like bringing more plants into the everyday life. And so, what
Yes.
are some strategies that you like? Some basic, like if you were to explain this to me, like I'm a child, like how would you
Right.
break it down?
Urban greening, you mean? There's so many elements to it, and it is actually at the moment something that is being accused of being a bit of a greenwashing.
Okay.
There's a bit of greenwashing that is kind of people are discussing and questioning, and I think it's a really good thing that that's happening, because then if you're now going to do something, it will be truly urban greening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it comes to urban greening, there is so many elements that have to come into it. Where is it? What's the budget? How will it look and work for the public? A changing climate and the current biodiversity in decades to come. It's something that needs to still stand on its own legs once the press release has gone. And it's just a daily process. And so urban greening, it's still in almost, I would say it's almost in this fledgling period of really making an impact. We're also learning a lot from previous urban greening projects around the world, and only by doing them you discover the things that need correcting. So yeah, it's a fascinating world. And,
Yeah.
Do you think that one day, I imagine every rooftop being a garden and having, like a crew of gardeners, but all those rooftops, I'm like,
Yeah. There's so much sun.
there's so much sun and there's so much
Plenty.
space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can we just, I imagine that, but
Yeah.
that's when I dream.
And your utopia.
In my
Laurent
utopia. Yeah, no,
Your
it's like
utopia.
my socialist, green, garden,
I
French utopia.
I completely back you up on that.
where everybody eats
Sounds
healthy
so nice.
food
Yeah.
and it's available.
Where
and,
you can
yeah.
grow carrots. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about what the on the surface benefits are. Like from what you know about like why do we need plants in our lives?
Wow, I guess there's so many benefits. The first one, obviously, we eat a lot of plants. Of course, our nutrition relies on them. As I mentioned before, there's about over 400,000 species of plants around the world. There is actually somewhere between 20,000 to 30,000 edible plants for humans. But unfortunately, the average human only eats around 200 different species of plants that the agricultural industry finds viable to reproduce. So the diversity of edible plants that we can actually add into our diet for nutrition, flavor, color is massive. And that's something that I love introducing my clients to as well. As we go along in the design scheme, I'll put like a massive section of in the plant list of edible plants that we can add in, and I put like some little recipes of how to use the different parts of the plants in there. So that's one element of why we need them. Of course, a very important one. The human eye is designed to see every shade of green that there is. I think that just comes from, like back in the survival age of how we needed to learn what every shade of green meant in the wilderness, and to be able to spot what's greenery and what's not as well when it came to predators. And so automatically when we are surrounded by greenery in the different shades, it gives us that sense of calm. And it also kind of confirms that, animalistic instinct of abundance, that greenery symbolizes abundance, and that we are safe, basically. We have food, we have water, and that we're okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, actually. I know that I used to have a lot of plants at my house. Like I always lived with a lot of plants. And
Yeah.
I will say that like one of the reasons why I loved having it is it feels calm and it feels like alive. It feels like
Yes.
there's something that's like living and supportive that's in there. That's I really like that. I
Yeah.
really like that. I grew up in a house, I grew up in Wisconsin, and even though it is a very cold climate in the winter and the winters last forever, the summers and the fall, I had a pear tree, I had
Beautiful.
a mulberry tree, cherries, we had blackberries and raspberries and Concord grapes, and so all of these things that like live that were on the land in the house that I grew up in. And I will say that I miss that. Like I haven't had that. A lot of people in LA live in apartments.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
it a little trickier.
Absolutely.
But where I live right now, I have a beautiful orange tree in the front yard.
Oh, wonderful.
And there's an avocado tree next door. So I love having that. And there's something that feels like that becomes a community center in some ways. Like the big orange tree, everyone who walks by can grab an orange. They can have
Yeah.
it. Like I don't mind. There's something that's I like how you said abundance in that.
Yes.
You get to
Yeah.
share that too.
Do you find that people are asking like for edible gardens more so now, or is it?
They are, yes. They're asking more for edibles, edible gardens, but I usually always will suggest mixing
Right.
edibles within a garden. The plants can be mixed in depending on what they are within the general design of the garden, or they can be a separate section. I think with kids, it's really interesting too to create like a small growing area where they get to experience where our food comes from.
Right.
And yeah, there is joy in actually growing something that you can actually add to your dinner table, or even to your cocktail. You can grow your own garnishes as well, which is quite nice.
Oh yeah.
If one day I have a garden, I'm going to plant thyme and rosemary because I don't want to spend $1.25 on 3 things of rosemary anymore.
Oh, and they're quite easy to grow. They're quite hardy.
Easy to grow. Yeah.
There's
It's very funny.
rosemary
I'm
bush.
like, I'm buying, okay, $2.
Rosemary is really, I mean, it's everywhere in LA
Here,
too.
yeah.
You go for a walk, you're going to find rosemary.
Everywhere.
In my neighborhood in the valley, like I'll just take the scissors with me
Yeah.
while I'm going for a walk. I leave with lavender, I get rosemary, I get, like avocados, loquats. Yeah.
Have you started hiking a little bit around here?
Yes, I have. I've been to a couple of hiking routes up on Griffith Park,
Yeah.
which is really beautiful.
Beautiful there.
Runyon. I've done another one up in Laurel, which I can't remember the name of. That was also very beautiful. It kind of overlooks the valley more.
Fryman. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Fryman.
That's like one of my favorites to go on.
Very beautiful as well.
Yeah. It's a big thing in LA, and it does show you Mother Nature in LA, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, to have that much nature within a city is quite special. It's a very unique place. Quite
So,
interesting.
in your experience, you've worked in London, obviously here. Where else have you done?
Where have I done projects?
Yeah.
So UK, US, Italy, your home country, France.
Yeah.
I've also done some work there. I've done some work in Spain. Yeah.
So, do you have one that you prefer, or is it just
one country?
One place,
a place that you prefer?
No, because all of them are interesting, and all of them are really fascinating climates and geographies and different clients, and it's all very fascinating. And even doing research on new ones is always really a joy as well. I've just been approached to go look at a potential new project up in the Hudson Valley this spring, which is somewhere I haven't done any work in before.
Wow.
So that would be quite interesting to see what's there.
Right.
And it's a property that's right on the Hudson River as well. So the garden actually goes straight to the river.
Wow.
So that would be really fun. And I think there's going to be some
fun.
aquatic plants added in there somewhere.
Oh,
so,
for sure.
I mean, Italy and France. I love the. I used to be an antique dealer, so we would buy the old jars where people would put their lemon trees and orange trees, because there you have the freeze, so you would have
Yes.
to you would have to be able to move them.
Into the conservatories, yeah.
Into the conservatories,
Wow.
and that smell. I still, it's funny how it stays with you, because I can still bring that back, that vision and that smell. It's
Oh,
fascinating
wow.
when you
Yeah.
go in there.
Yeah, I mean, scent does trigger memories, and having that in the garden is
Yeah.
also something that's really beautiful as well.
Yeah, because the
So-
colors and, but it's interesting because the scent, which I never thought about when you design a garden, that you do, every sense is in that, the sound of the water or the foliage of. But I remember in the south of France growing up, and when it's spring, there's a very distinct smell in the air. Like it's
Yes.
very pungent of the pine, and when that comes up, I go back to my youth,
Oh,
which
I
is
like that.
forever ago, as you mentioned. it's
Oh,
20
not
months.
that long ago.
Stop it. I'm sorry.
Do you have a favorite scent?
In a garden, or
In a
just
garden.
ooh, that's a hard one.
Like your personal, not necessarily your favorite to use, but like something that when you smell it, you're like, oh, that's special to you.
The smell that I love in a garden, I do love the smell of lavender. I really just cannot resist like grabbing a
Right.
lavender and just smelling it. Same with rosemary as well. Mint is another one. I do love touching mint and smelling that. Apparently, it is very healthy for us to smell at least 5 different smells per day to keep that sense active and healthy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I think having that in a garden is quite important as well. Even if it's something you touch and smell,
Right.
or if something you walk past and smell, all throughout the year. And there are things that you can smell in January. There's things you can smell it all the way to December. It's just using the plant science to add those elements in to
Yeah.
stimulate the clients.
And you mentioned orchids. I used to geek out on orchids. Is that something that I love them? I just love them. I can't.
Me
I
too.
live in an apartment, so it's like. But I used to go to San Francisco used to have an orchid show that was pretty good, and it was fascinating to see all those specimens.
Yeah.
Because that is endless. I mean.
Oh
it's-
yeah. There's an endless list of varieties of orchids from around the world, and I do geek on them too. I really love them.
Oh, you do? That's
yeah,
fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah, because when you mentioned that, I was like, oh, that's someone that.
Yeah, when I left London, I gave a friend of mine an orchid that I've had for 12 years, and it flowered twice a year. It was very hard to give it away, but I was like, take care of my child.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love them as well. Yeah.
And they grow too. It's like there are some that grow
Yeah,
really high if you are able to.
yeah.
To
If
keep-
they're happy, then they just keep going. They'll even produce little babies sometimes too.
Mhm.
So
Oh
yeah.
wow. I've only ever killed them. Ooh.
But you don't. Yeah, you don't really.
I've never been able to keep an orchid alive. I'm
It's-
learning a lot
It's
today.
a specific recipe to keep them alive, but once you nail
Yeah.
it, it's just so easy.
Yeah.
So it's just putting them in the right condition, the right type of watering and draining.
Right. Yeah,
And
it's
that's
not
it,
easy,
they're
but
good.
it's.
Yeah, it's just learning it.
Yeah.
Once you learn it.
Have you met Cliff Fung yet?
No, I haven't. No.
I'll introduce you because he has a collection
Of orchids?
orchids.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what he posts every.
That's
So we need
right,
to
yeah.
have him on the. But he has a collection of orchids, and he posts every Sunday on his Instagram. He's a very, very good designer. Sure,
Oh,
you'll love
amazing.
him. And he's promised us to go to his garden and see them. I can't wait.
Oh, fantastic! I mean, that sounds like a very beautiful place if there's that many orchids there.
Oh.
Do you consider yourself someone who has a green thumb?
Yes,
Yes.
I think I can confidently say that now.
No, so because here's the thing: you can designing and doing landscape architecture is one thing, but then like actually being able to
Grow
keep,
things
yeah,
yourself,
to grow something yourself, and that's something that you feel like you've really nailed at this point.
Well, I've been doing that as a hobby since I was a child.
Okay.
Like growing plants. It started indoors, of course, and then having gardens or balconies, depending on where you are in the world. And it was, of course, trial and error of you get something, you try it in your space, and you see if it lives. And why did it live? Why did it not live? So it's something that I was already doing before I switched careers. And I think I can confidently say that I have a green
Great.
thumb.
In that, I do want to ask you a little bit of an LA woo-woo question.
Sure.
Okay. Do you feel... Stop it. Do you feel like there is something beyond just the sunlight and the air and the water that helps a plant to thrive? That it is something that's like, not to go into this too much, but like speaking positively to your houseplants, like is there something like that you do actually see a relation to, like that actually works?
Well, science lately has been producing research, which is interesting that you asked this question, where plants do evolve and they do sense their surroundings. For example, if a plant is being attacked by insects or by whatever animal, it does produce chemicals, not just to deter that attacker basically from eating it, but to warn other plants around it to start producing that chemical that makes their foliage bitter. At the same time, plants start learning, so to speak, that when they're being watered or cared for, there is a certain movement or a energy that comes towards them, being us, for example. So scientists now are saying that there is some kind of reaction in plants when an owner comes closer to it to water or do something to it. It's still in its fledgling research, but it has come out in the last couple of months that this is something.
Keep going on the woo-woo. So
No.
Is there a consciousness?
I'm just...
Keep going. Let's push it. Is there a
I'm not going
is
too
there
deep
a
into it.
universal
I've
consciousness?
already been made fun of a little bit because I love talking to trees. Like I'm someone that when I go for a hike, I'm going to take a moment to step aside and go have a conversation with a tree real quick and let it know that it is loved and beautiful.
I love you too because you don't talk back. It's the only time where I can just be like, but it's interesting because there's being in LA for way too long, there is this movement of
The consciousness of plants, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like that actually ties in a little bit. Hold on.
I smoke it too. I've been here for 30 years. It's got to impact me.
It's a fascinating subject. I don't know much about it. I haven't been here long enough to join the woo-woo.
For now, you're still a little bit,
Talk to me in 30 years.
You wait.
You wait. After a few amount of hikes,
just
you start talking to plants.
Go spend like a weekend in Topanga. You'll be changed.
Which I haven't been there yet. So that's
really?
on my list.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
go to Topanga. Go to Topanga. That's very important. That's actually a love. There's so many like lovely hikes around there, and even just like driving through.
Fantastic! Okay.
It's awesome.
Well, all area has been impacted last year, so I don't know how it is now.
That's actually true. I'm not sure what it looks like these days, but
on the west side there were some incredible hikes. But that got impacted
with the fires.
Yes.
And
I haven't been back.
Have you been working with any fire-resistant plants, and what has that been like in working in LA? That's something we have to keep in mind. So how has been your learning curve on that?
So that's actually a really interesting question because I moved here literally 2 weeks before the fires.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So, and I was staying in a friend's apartment where you could see the Palisades basically burn.
Oh,
and
wow.
also you could see sunset burning when it started. So witnessing that and being here for it was obviously very, horrific. But within weeks, the design community here started events that we all started attending in support of the fires and in support of the people that lost their homes. LA Can Do was one of them.
Yeah.
I think I met Thomas at one of the LA Can Do events.
Yeah, Adam Hunter.
It was an amazing way to see the community come together. But then the conversation started about how can we protect homes and gardens from and the community from this ever happening again, or how can we help to slow the fires down So then
Right.
we have a better chance of stopping it. And fire-aware landscaping has been a very big subject in the past year that we've been talking about and working on together. And for me, I've been using something called the Japanese concept of Ma in how I implement that as a fire-aware landscaping.
What is that?
The concept of Ma is the negative space between different things that kind of highlights the form. And so the Japanese use that concept of Ma in art, architecture, landscape, music, topography. It goes on. It's a really fascinating thing, the appreciation of the negative space and how it will make something else look more prominent. And in landscaping, it is all about pruning plants in a specific way or spacing them in a specific way where there is always certain amount of gaps in between. When it comes to hedging, for example, traditional hedging is so thick and dense that it keeps all the dead foliage inside, which is basically a massive tank of fuel.
Yeah.
And having that obviously helps the fire move even faster through a
Yeah.
community. But by pruning hedging in a certain way, where it still gives you the privacy on one side, but on the other side, you can see the trunks of the hedging plants. It kind of creates space for the dead foliage to be removed or fall out naturally. And therefore, you're slowing down the speed of the fire. It's the same with climbers like bougainvillea. They do the same thing. They collect their dead foliage. So you thin them out in a beautiful way. So basically, in other words, you don't have to sacrifice beauty to make a landscape fire aware. There are multiple ways. Many designers are using other methods as well. That's just the one that I choose to use because I love it and I think it's stunning as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. There are a lot. I mean, we attended a lot of events around that time as well, and I have found it really interesting the changes in material and the way that the entire design industry is open to pivoting and changing and bringing in new ideas. That's something that's so necessary, and just the evolution of how we grow and how we change and
Absolutely.
develop. So is there, in that way, obviously, like that's something that that you've definitely needed to implement. Is there something else recently that you've discovered that you want to bring into more of your projects in the future?
In terms of being fire aware or just in general?
No, in general.
Aside from this, I think the Japanese concept of man being fire aware, I think that will probably spread beyond the borders of California into the rest of the world because the climate is changing. Fires will be an issue in several places, and it's something that the rest of the world will have to basically learn from our experiments and lessons here in California. But I always think that California leads with this
Right.
kind of stuff always, and it always gives the rest of the world all these valuable lessons. The other thing that I like adding into my gardens, let me see. I mean, I guess I've always wanted to add an element that supports the biodiversity of whatever part of the world there is. I'm adding more and more sustainable and locally sourced hardscaping materials as well,
Okay.
which is something that I try to do as much as possible in the world that we live in, because obviously things come, especially to California, from around the world.
Right.
So, but the going back to artisans and sourcing things locally, whether it's from California, the rest of the U.S., or Mexico, Canada, there is a big thriving community of people that are learning the artisanal ways of making things, and I think that's something that I'm really enjoying pulling into my work at the moment as well.
I
Yeah.
love that. 'Cause
Yeah.
that, I mean, it's a big part of our podcast is the awareness of artisanship, especially in California.
Yes.
But I think it's so important because there are people that, I mean, be it ceramics or, it's like that make some wonderful pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. You know.
Yeah, that's how we keep craftsmanship alive. Because
Agreed.
as soon as you're into that, like when you stop valuing artisanship and that detail and the care that goes into someone hand making something, when you lose that, you don't have something that's going to last for a long time. You don't have something that could. This is a historical, not monument. This is a historical piece that is going to last and be sort of an heirloom piece and that you can keep for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can pass it on to, someone else that you care about. And it's just something that's so beautiful to be able to have, and share with, whoever.
And in your design is, I don't know how you describe it, sculptures, and is that a big part of, do you incorporate, or is that something that?
Oh, you mean in the gardens?
Yeah.
Yes. So if it's something that the client would like, and if it's something that I also feel I can suggest, adding sculpture to a garden or a water feature is something that I love adding as well. There's a really beautiful outdoor sculpture gallery in Sussex in England that is basically just these really beautiful overgrown grounds with different artists' work kind of sprinkled around the grounds. And you cross little brooks to get to the other side, and you keep discovering things that you might have not seen had you not crossed over.
Wow, yeah.
And then you go back and look at the catalog and see what you can recommend to your client. So I think adding sculpture and art to a garden is also something very important. And it's something that it creates another visual focus point in a garden. It affects the depth of your eyes in a garden. It can help you make the garden feel bigger. It can help you make the garden feel cozier. It really just depends on what you want. And the different colors of the sculptures will affect that as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I like this.
And water is one of my favorite. I mean.
Yes.
Yeah, I find peace whenever there's I added the tiniest outdoor place here in LA for a while, and the one thing we had added was
a water
fountain.
feature.
And that was, I mean, it did cover the sound of the city.
That's true.
It covers the sound of the city. I mean, it's magical.
Like white noise. Yeah.
That white noise is absolutely fantastic.
This has been awesome. But if you've listened to any of our episodes, you know that there are 3 questions that I ask all of our guests at the end.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So are you prepared?
I'm ready.
Okay. Awesome. So my first question for you is, what is the messiest place in your home?
Ooh, what is the messiest place in my home? I actually know where that is. It is a chair in my bedroom that always will get the pile of laundry or whatever I take off to change. And it's always a focal point of me seeing and going, I need to tidy that up. So, and it never changes.
I can relate.
It never changes. I would say I am definitely not going to keep doing that, but it just naturally becomes the messy corner.
Yeah. I feel like we all have that chair. Yeah.
I'm like,
that's what the chair in the bedroom is for, I think.
Yeah. It's a very beautiful, comfortable velvet chair that I've never sat in. My clothes have, but I haven't. So,
Spectacular. Second question for you.
Right.
What is the first thing that you notice when you walk into a new space?
The first thing I notice when I walk into a space, I would say the light is, there's 3 things I think I notice first. What is already there? Like if it's a garden, then what plants are already there in this garden? How is the light hitting it? And what's the land like? So those are the first 3 things that I will look at the same time and try to absorb as I'm talking to the client.
Yeah.
And my brain starts the time lapse to see how I'm going to design
Have
it.
you done any gardens on a hill here yet?
Not yet. I just went and saw one that's on a very steep hill
There are a lot of them.
with a ravine, like a little water brook going through it. It's up in Laurel Canyon.
Oh, fun.
And the clients actually own the other side as well. They have a little bridge. So that will be a really interesting project
Oh, wow.
to work on.
That absolutely
So,
will be.
yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question for you. Do you have a favorite space, either like in your house or in a garden that you've worked on, or if you think of like anywhere that you would want to be right now of a place that you've designed or in your home, what would it be?
Oh, a place that I've designed or in my home. That's a hard one. There's so many places I would love to be. Out of places I've done, I would say there is a space that I designed for Soho House in the Cotswolds. It was a replanting of a native forest using the Japanese Miyawaki method. And we created a wellness space in the middle.
Wow.
And every time I've been in that wellness space in the last few years to check on how the plants are growing, that place does do the job of making me just want to sit there. It really does do that. And
Wow.
So yeah, I would say that's the space I would want to be in, especially in spring when the
Okay.
bluebells are out. Yeah, that's the one.
When the bluebells are out?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's amazing. Listen, we have an incredible lunch for you.
Oh.
And so I want to ask, is there anything that you want to plug? How can people find you? Anything you have coming up?
Oh, I think the easiest way to find me is through my Instagram account, which is under my name, Mo Helmi, or through my website, TriCoastalScapes.com. Those are the two places that you can find me. What's coming up in terms of, what do you mean?
Do you have projects coming up? You're working on a book? You started
Yes,
working on a book?
that
What?
book will take some
It'll
time.
take a little while.
I have been a little too busy, and I'm very aware that I have to get back onto it again. But life just takes
Life
you.
happens,
you know.
yeah.
Life happens.
There's a few exciting projects coming up on both coasts here in the US and back in the UK that I will be sharing on my Instagram for sure. I have a profile story coming out in Forbes magazine coming
Okay.
up soon,
Nice.
which is very exciting.
Ooh, congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So that's very exciting. I just answered their extra questions last week and sent it off. So it should be coming out in the next few weeks. And yeah, there's loads of exciting stuff coming up.
Well, I'm really glad that we got to meet you. I'm glad that you're this new addition to our community of designer and artists, because it's a fun place to be.
Oh, thank you.
LA, and I'm really happy that you're part of it.
Thank you. I feel at home, and I feel really like I am definitely a part of it, which is lovely. But thank you so much. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Clutter Bravado is filmed on location at the Kimberly Denman showroom in Los Angeles, California. For inquiries about our furniture, a directory of our guests, or just to reach out with questions or comments, email us at clutterbravado@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Clutter Bravado. Thank you.